Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Mount and Blade Warband and our 10th year anniversary series. We're actually going to be attacking Radagir Castle here, and this is obviously a siege tower. I'm pretty disappointed the fact that we obviously have to do one of these in the beginning of this episode. I kind of wanted to avoid it if at all possible, but you know how it is. Sometimes you just have to do things that you're not really too much wanting to do. But anyway, I do have a crossbow, so maybe I should make good use of it, shouldn't I? Yes. So we'll try and get a couple of kills here. I'm a little bit worried about doing this in general because obviously we know the Vaegirs. The Vaegirs are very good when it comes to their archers, and I don't really want to allow myself to be super vulnerable to attack from them, but hopefully I can at least eliminate one or two archers in the meantime. And if I can do that, at least I'm contributing a little bit to the overall success of our forces, or at the very least we can try and hope that to be the case, because as it stands right now it seems like I'm being extremely inaccurate. As I said before, I feel like the way that the zoom in function works in the game, it's really difficult to actually hit anything unless you do something like this, and maybe you just hit someone from there. Obviously this is a pretty difficult battlement to hit someone on, to be honest, because of all the little spikes and things, and I believe there are maybe some invisible wall issues there as well, possibly, not entirely sure on that. But whatever the case, once we have this siege tower all the way to the walls, this shouldn't be that difficult for us to deal with, but you know how it is. Sometimes we are taken unawares with how difficult a particular siege is going to end up. But hopefully not this time around. I do have a wonderful bardiche for us to use as well, so hopefully we're going to be able to cleave our path right through, and there we go. Alright, so that's all I'm pretty much going to do with my crossbow, unfortunately. Let off how many? What was it? 20 bolts or something like that? Yeah, I let off 20 bolts, and you saw exactly what happened. We weren't really able to do too much, unfortunately. And has the siege tower actually moved? Yeah, it seems like it has actually moved to the position that we needed to. And actually, you know what? Shooting on top of the siege tower actually makes much more sense. It seems like this is a little bit more effective than it otherwise would have been. So definitely a good idea to try and do that. Yeah, look at that. We're getting some good headshots here too. That is pretty nice. There is actually someone attempting to shoot me from here, so I'm not a big fan of that. Hopefully we can actually take him out. Yeah, there we go. Got a nice little headshot there. And now my forces are coming up. So let's see if I can... Yeah, okay, wait a minute. Let's not go up there just yet, shall we? Let's just follow this Nordhuskal. I'm still getting focused, which is really frustrating, but hopefully I'm going to be able to get by. Do I need to do damage? Yes, I think I do. But I think we should be fine once we have eliminated a couple of these enemies on the sides here. And can I actually do that? I really don't want to fall off the battlements. That would be extremely bad for us right now. But it seems like no. It seems like we are fine. Now we're just going to clear out these fellows here. As I said before, I personally feel like the best strategy to go for is not actually attacking the archers, even though I am doing that now because we've kind of cleared out the front line. But generally the best thing to do is to help your forces to progress through the battlements. So initially defeating the bunches of defenders at the very start, and then moving on from there to try and deal with the various ranged parties that you're going to be encountering. Because otherwise, if you don't do that, your own forces are just going to get stuck. They're going to get stuck, and it's going to be a bit of an ordeal trying to get them to progress through the inevitable, inner parts of the castle that you need them to go through to be able to actually win the day. But obviously doing this is a bit risky in itself, because you are going to have situations where you might not even have the opportunity to even survive, to be honest, because you might just take too much damage in that case, which is exactly the reason why, by the way, I decided to go for a little bit of iron flesh and things, because obviously usually, if you're going to be playing like a one-handed sword, shield kind of character, you're really going to be wanting to spec into shield much more than anything else. In terms of your survivability, it's going to just improve your survivability tenfold. Whereas Iron Flesh, for me, considering I'm a two-handed build, really is just, I personally feel like it is basically a requirement. I think it is super, super useful, very important indeed. But obviously that very much depends, you know, maybe it's not what you like, I don't know, but for me personally, I think that Iron Flesh really makes a huge difference, because even though I only have 5 points in it, it's giving me 10 additional HP, and I think for the most part that has actually improved my survivability quite a lot, although I'm not sure if we can really can we really tell anything about our survivability? I mean, generally it's me, you know, survivability is not really of the utmost importance, even though I do appreciate surviving. And can I actually shoot this guy? There we go. I'm actually surprised that the Allied forces were not going up onto the onto the rooftop there, and the player is actually required to attack them. That's kind of interesting. I wouldn't have expected that in a million years. I actually would have expected there to be kind of like a, I don't know, a pathway that would allow people to go up there and actually eliminate those archers and things, but apparently not. Apparently not. Anyway, there we go. We were able to take Radagir Castle. I'm actually going to be giving this... Who should I give this to? It's a bit difficult, isn't it? Yes, it's a bit difficult. I'm thinking Nuas or maybe someone else. Maybe Nelag. Nelag could be kind of good, but he has really, really low relation with us at the moment. I'm just thinking that maybe if we give it to him, maybe he's going to be less likely to leave us. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, there we go. There's another castle, and we've taken it. Okay, so now here's the thing. I did say, and I did detail in the previous episode, that maybe it would be a good idea for us to take Ravidin, because I'm thinking maybe Ravidin is going to be a really significant, conquest for us to do, and maybe it would be a good idea. So let's try it out. Let's see whether we can actually make a good go of things here, because I think it is indeed a siege ladder town. If it is a siege ladder town, then I think we're going to have a pretty decent time, but of course it very much depends on what kind of layout is inside. Anyway, ooh, there we go. The Rodoks are at war against the Saranids. I really need to eliminate... Aha, oh, okay, yeah, this is a bit problematic. Okay, there's a massive amount of units in here. I'm actually hoping... Will they sally out if I actually go in here? I'm actually wondering whether they're going to sally out. Shall we try it? We might be able to do something. If they sally out, this is going to be perfect. Or maybe not. I'm actually not entirely sure. Yeah, they are sallying out. Okay, that is actually pretty good. Not too bad. As you can see, this is a pretty decent position to be in if I don't actually end up dying almost instantly. Okay, here we go. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that literally just happens. It's one of those things. I don't know whether they're going to sally out again. That is the problem. They are going to sally out again. Okay, that's fine. All right, so this time around, I'm not going to be as imbecilic, I guess. And I'm just going to make it so that we have a bit more of our allies on our side, because I actually anticipated my forces trying to help me out, but they didn't do that. They didn't help me out at all, and I basically just got clobbered by the various vassals that were on the enemy's side. But yeah, now that I've done things a little bit differently, as you can see, it is going much, much better, and we are going to be able to eliminate quite a few of the enemy's units. Do bear in mind, however, that even if we are able to eliminate a bunch of enemies in the defense here, that's not really going to hand us the victory on a silver platter. It's going to be a bit difficult still, because we are going to have to deal with the various defenders in the garrison, and indeed that is also going to incorporate the vassals themselves, and these guys are going to probably be kind of annoying. So I'm not sure if we really want to... Yeah, as you can quite clearly tell, the sally out was mostly the vassals as far as I can tell. So I'm actually just going to go very quickly over to Radagir Castle here, because this fellow is actually attempting to besiege it. I will try to eliminate him. There we go. Let's try and take him out. He doesn't have any particular opinion on me at the moment by the looks of things. Okay, that's pretty good. And otherwise, let's just make sure... Ooh, small battlefield. Okay, we're going to just make sure that we have a decent charge in the initial attack. And wow, that guy literally got murdered. That was really, really funny. I think he charged straight on into one of our Swadian knights. and he obviously was prepared for the for the inevitable charge. I can assume maybe the Swadian knight actually used his lance against the vassal himself, so he was basically using his own speed against him, which is actually amazing, and that definitely happens to me multiple times. Yes, don't even get me started on that. Lances in general, spears, and so on and so forth, they can really do a massive number on you if you're not careful. You know, if you're a cavalry focused character and you charge into someone who has a spear, you got to be real careful. They have great timing, really good timing. And this gets even better, actually. It gets even better in Bannerlord as well, so they're gonna be very deadly there. Anyway, I think we should be perfectly fine. I'm just gonna try and help out this guy. He seems to be having a bit of a problem. That's a Swadian man-at-arms, so it's definitely a good idea to try and assist him as best we can. And there you go. That is indeed a victory for us. And so here's the thing: do we now want to decide on taking Ravedin? Because we've actually eliminated, or shall we say, we've weakened the enemy's vassals quite a lot. I wouldn't say it was a significant victory, that's for sure, but we did gain a very quick 28 renown from that, so I'd say that it was overall a relatively positive experience. But we then have to consider, do you think we can actually capture this town with all of those vassals inside the walls? I'm probably going to say no. So it's very much pointing me to taking something else. Obviously, we could take Sargoth. Sargoth is really easy for us to take. We could take Dramuk Castle, actually, considering it's right next door to us. Maybe that would make sense. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Hello? That guy is running away from us. I actually wonder whether he's going to try and get in. Yeah, he's going to try and get into Ravedin. All right. Yeah, we're just going to let him do that. I don't really see the point in actually forcing things. And we're just going to go in here instead. Yeah, perfect. Okay, siege ladders. I have a bad feeling that it's going to be one of those thin ladders. Let's see whether it is. Is it a thin ladder? No, it's actually not a thin ladder. Okay, very much looking forward to this then. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to place my archers over here. I have a pretty significant amount of archers right now. I have 11 archers on the battlefield. You may think, oh, 11? That seems like a very small amount. But yeah, actually, just generally because of the way that Warband works, you're not really going to be seeing many troops on the battlefield, and considering we actually have a vassal with us at the moment, he is apparently having more units on the battlefield than I do, so that's actually kind of a bit weird. But I suppose I shouldn't really worry or complain about that too much, because it actually means that we don't have to spend our own resources in potentially taking this castle. Ooh, we might have some issues here. I'm hopeful. Lord Gundar actually did get himself taken out. I'm not a big fan of that, of course, but oh well, never mind. Let me see. Can I actually get through here? This is a bit problematic, possibly. I'm getting shot in the face, getting shot in the face once again. That was a massive amount of damage, as you can see right there. And I think we're probably dead. I don't think I can do much more here. I was trying to clear the way, but yeah, the enemy was doing a real number on us. And no, it seems like we might actually survive. Okay. I'm surprised. Very surprised that we survived that. Swadian knight going to town. Ooh, nice. I like to see that. And now let's charge our archers in. And the archers are actually above us right now. We need to make sure that they don't shoot me. This is actually a perfect positioning for them, to be honest. This is actually one of my favorite castle layouts. Not for attacking, of course, but if we actually had a defense going on here, this would be a really fun one to do. Because if you're like an archer build or something, you're going to have a whale of a time standing on the archery tower, just raining down all kinds of death upon the opponent. That would be so much fun. It really would. But unfortunately, yeah, we're not really in a position to do that right now, obviously. But who knows? Maybe in the future we'll be able to defend Dramuk Castle or one of the other similar siege layouts. That could be quite cool. Anyway, yeah. Oh, no, you're not going to kill me, sir. You're not going to kill me. Yeah, oh, maybe he is. Anyway, we've got to be really careful, because these Vaegier horsemen, they do come equipped with some two-handed axes, and they can be a bit sneaky. They can be quite fast. Surprisingly quick, actually. So, might be an idea to be a little careful. And I'm also not going to be too audacious with my own movements here as well. I don't really want to move forward and lead the charge into the opposing forces, because if I do that, you know what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm probably going to get myself killed. So I'm just going to allow my own forces to go forward. Considering I'm very low in HP at the moment, it kind of makes sense. And Dromug Castle has now fallen before us. I believe it should probably fall before us. What's actually even going on here? Oh, they're hiding behind here. Alright. That's actually not even bad. I think we're perfectly fine. Please don't die. It would be really funny if I die right now. Funny, not haha funny, but funny, wow, that's really pathetic funny. Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay, I think we're okay. Hopefully they haven't spawned inside the building. That would be a bit difficult, but yeah, we can just force them to surrender in that case. Anyway, 4 renown is our reward for that. We did end up losing 4 units, but that is really not that bad at all. And I'm actually wondering what we should go for here. I guess we'll just go for some more archers, some more Vagia archers, probably kind of nice. And then we'll just move on. Alright, so I'm going to give this to Lord Nuas. He's actually doing a really, really good job, or at least I think he's doing a good job. Maybe I should give it to Jarl Gun. Maybe I should have given it to Gunda? I think Gunda has a bunch of stuff, doesn't he? Doesn't he have a bunch of fiefs already, so it's not really necessary for me to give him any, but I'm not entirely sure about that, to be honest, so maybe I should just leave him the way it is. Okay, so let's actually just take a quick look here. Oh, okay. Alright, a couple of people have actually left. Yeah, they have actually left. So this is maybe giving me a really good opportunity to do what we need to do. So that means we're going to be going in. Oh yes, we're going to be going in. Now, the main problem that I'm going to foresee here is the fact that we might get attacked by King Yaroglek. I'm not sure if he's going to actually turn up. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Not entirely sure about that. But we're going to go in. Oh, I actually hoped for a sally out, but no. Oh, the ladder is terrible. Okay. Yeah, this ladder is absolutely awful. Yeah, as you can quite clearly tell, I'm getting dazed and all kinds of things. I'm switching to my shield now, but I kind of wanted to rush up there as soon as possible, and yeah, I'm getting shot once again. Alright, I guess I'm going to get out my crossbow then and just hope that my own forces will be able to get through the enemy's defenses. I mean, there's not much more that I can do. I just kind of have to cross my fingers and hope, which is real sad. Oh, King Yaroglek's actually inside here. I had no idea. I had no idea he was here. Okay. Well, that changes things a little bit. That kind of puts my mind at ease a little bit more as well, because that makes it so that if we do end up failing here, at least we don't have to worry about Prince Yaroglek. Why do I keep calling him Prince Yaroglek? I have no idea. Anyway, King Yaroglek is not going to, come out of the woodwork and then, try to murder us when we are at our weakest. So, hopefully not another one of the vassals from the Vagias will think the same and try to do that, as we are actually going to be in this siege for quite some time. I really, I don't even know what the developers were thinking when they created this particular siege layout. Because here's the thing: the siege layout itself is not a problem, but I'm talking about the siege ladders. Because you see this ladder, it's literally a single file, and I don't have a problem with single file. But why do we not bring two? Why don't we bring two siege ladders to this? It kind of doesn't make sense for an offensive, an offensive army to literally bring one siege ladder. It boggles the mind, to be honest. And I just think to myself, there's no way any offensive force would decide, oh yes, one ladder is enough. And that's the funny thing. I wouldn't mind it so much if, maybe you created your very own siege ladders to bring with you. Maybe you just don't have enough resources to be able to create a second one. And in which case, oh yeah, okay, I completely understand that. That's not a problem at all. I would definitely understand how, maybe you don't have enough resources to be able to do that. But that's not how it is in the game, obviously. That is not how it is, so it kind of doesn't really make sense to me. But, that's just the difficulty. That's just the difficulty of the whole thing. And I'm definitely not saying that that's like detracting from the experience at all, but it can get a little bit grating at times. It can definitely get a little bit grating, but I'm very, very pleased that I've actually just gotten behind enemy lines, to be honest. I think that this is kind of a miracle to be fair. I don't know whether we would even be able to do this normally, but I seem to have gotten a bit lucky, possibly. Anyway, there are over 400 units for me to go through here, and this is definitely going to be one of those things that I really need to be a bit more aware of, you know, taking damage and things. I cannot take unnecessary damage, even though I have just taken unnecessary damage multiple times. Okay, here we go. The best thing I can do is just murder from behind and try to hit some people on the way through, try to hit them where their shields are not, try not to get parried. And wow, that's kind of pathetic, the amount of damage I'm doing right now. Okay. Yeah, that was really bad as well, me taking damage from this guy. Okay, well, let's just bring out the nice little overheads. No doubt we're going to get more enemies arriving. Yep, more enemies are coming in. But thankfully, I am at the front line, and we have just completely cleared them out before they could even ascend the stairs. Perfect. Alright, so I'm actually going to try, if I can, to stand in such a way so that I can murder people as they come up the stairs and their shields are faced away from me. So this is going to make things even more efficient for us, and hopefully I'll be able to prevent many of our forces even dying or even getting close to death or even taking any damage, to be honest. Because then we are able to take out any enemies that could potentially deal damage in that moment. Okay, so now this is where things get a little bit more brutal, because we have a situation of critical mass on our hands. A lot of archers taking aim at the various units that are coming down the stairs. I do have to be a little bit more of a distraction person right now, but obviously I can't really take too much damage at the same time. Kind of have to do, you know, multiple things to try and succeed with the least possible casualties. But again, I cannot die here. If I die, then bad things will happen. Possibly. But what we desperately need to do is get our forces off the stairs. We need them to not stand on the stairs any further, because that is in turn making things very, very difficult for us, because they are forcing them into an artificial bottleneck, basically, and that obviously is not good. So it seems like we have now moved into melee range. Okay, now we're fine. Now we're okay. My forces are doing a pretty decent job. Unfortunately, apparently there are some enemy units on the battlements themselves, and they are preventing our reinforcements from entering. Okay, wait a minute. Not entirely sure what's going to happen with that, but I'm very much hoping that we will be victorious. Yeah, we are actually victorious. Look at that. We only have 8 enemies remaining, and they're actually standing up there on the battlements. That's a super weird position for them to take, considering they would have spawned all the way down here, and obviously we were fighting all of their archers. So it's a bit weird that they decided to go all the way up there and just fight nothing, because obviously my reinforcements weren't even on the way at that point. So, a bit strange, but oh well, they have been eliminated, and Raverdin is now ours. And this is all thanks to the fact that those vassals, the ones that had around 80 to 90 units, they left. They left the premises, and it was now a lot easier for us to actually even breach the walls, because if they hadn't, I probably wouldn't have even started this siege. I think it would have been almost impossible for me to take. So it's all thanks to those vassals deciding to leave and abandon their post, basically. Yeah, that was pretty much what was going on there. But I'm only hoping now that when we go into the keep, I will not be given, you know, a recruit and a, you know, militia recruit, footman person, because that's going to be very, very difficult for us to win. No. Okay, we actually got Borcher here. Okay, he might be kind of good, I guess, but it depends how much HP he even has. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of HP at the moment, but it seems like no. Seems like we are absolutely fine. Okay, perfect. We did get a Nord footman, though, as I said, you see? I did predict that correctly, but there you are. 18 renown, and King Yarogleck managed to escape. I was actually very much hoping that we would be able to take him prisoner, but oh well, we can't always get what we want, can we? Anyway, there's a sword sister right there. We have 8 spaces. There's another Mamluk here, too. I'm thinking, what do we want to take? It's a bit difficult, We'll take some veterans, because they do become Huskars, I guess, a little bit faster than the others. And what else do we want here? We probably want to go for a Saranid Master Archer. That seems kind of nice. We could go for some Saranid Horsemen as well, or we could go for Vagia Veterans. VJ veterans are terrible, by the looks of things. Okay, we'll go for the horseman. That sounds like a fun idea. And I can't take any more, which is really unfortunate. We have a hard cap, as you can see right there. Yep. It's not like Bannerlord where you have a soft cap where you can basically just take as many units as you want, but then they slowly leave over time. Personally, I'd prefer that system right now because there are so many rescued prisoners here. I'd love to be able to take advantage of that, but I cannot. Unfortunate. Anyway, there we go. I think I'm probably going to be deferring appointment of a lord here, or I could give it to Lord Gunda. Gunda is doing a fantastic job, so I'm actually going to give it to him. I think he's really good, and he has assisted me this entire time, so I kind of feel like a reward is in order for him. I think it kind of makes sense, right? Because if I reward him, then he's going to be very pleased, and it's going to be great. But obviously, everyone else is going to be kind of like, well, why are you giving him? You know, why are you rewarding such an imbecile? Every other vassal ever is going to say that. Anyway, there we go. Just pay what you can. Let's go into the tavern here because you never know. Maybe we're going to be coming across the other companions that I really am very kind of wanting to get into our army. I mean, that's the funny thing. It's been a while since we've started the series, and I haven't found these two once. I haven't found these two companions once. And it's really weird, because usually I would come across them really early on, or at the very least in the first couple of episodes, but I'm checking almost every single tavern at this point, and we are just getting super unlucky. Apparently it's unlucky, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe there's a reason why we're not getting them to help us or anything. But anyway, I'm actually going to say that we're going to end the campaign for the moment so that Gunda can do his own thing, because obviously he's going to be restoring his own forces back there. And you can see that most of his forces were eliminated, or at the very least knocked unconscious in that previous siege. So it would be kind of good for him to rest up a little bit and hopefully come back stronger than he was before. Anyway, this is a siege ladder, not a siege ladder, siege tower castle, which is obviously going to be very difficult for us to deal with. And we also then have Rivercheck, which is, again, a siege tower. So, inevitably, we will have to take these. So it's a case of which one do you want to take first? That's pretty much what we have to do here. We have to decide on which one. I think we'll probably be pretty fine attempting to take Rivercheck, even though it is a siege tower. Absolutely loathe those, but as we've seen, it's actually not even bad. Sometimes it's okay, because if you have a situation like, I think there was a siege tower. Was it a castle? Yeah. Yeah, it was a castle. In the previous, the previous siege before the last one, we went into Radegir Castle, if you recall, and we had a pretty decent time. I feel like we didn't really have too many difficulties dealing with the siege tower, and it was primarily, I think, because the actual layout of the castle was conducive to the offense not getting absolutely murdered by many ranged units. Seems like this is actually not even bad either. Okay, we might actually have a pretty decent time here as well. If I can just maintain my own HP, that's pretty much all I need to do. So I'm just going to try and get some nice little headshots, or at the very least try to get some damage out. There we go. Eliminate that archer. I mean, generally, any single time you can eliminate an archer of the opponent, especially if it's a Vajir archer, because they're basically one tier away from becoming a marksman, as far as I'm aware. And obviously, marksmen, as you know, are the best in the game. So, being able to eliminate these archers is a good idea. Really wish I was a little bit better at getting headshots with the crossbow, though, to be honest. Now, I gotta say, I'm actually thinking that this particular the siege tower's positioning, when we first begun here, was very forgiving. I don't know whether you noticed that, but the siege tower itself was placed so incredibly close to the walls that, in my opinion, they're being lenient. They're being lenient on us quite a lot, because as it stands, I remember there's a siege tower in Saranid territory. I seem to remember that. very vividly in my mind's eye right now. And as far as I am aware, that siege tower spawns so far away from the battlements that I think one has to actually wait for almost, I think maybe it's even 5 minutes, 5 in real life minutes, to be able to get this siege tower all the way to the walls, just because it is so incredibly far away. So I'm thinking that that actually is a thing, and I'm not just imagining it, because I seem to remember that, but I'm gonna see when we get there. I'm gonna see which one it is, because I'm pretty sure that that is an actual thing, and if so, that's a complete nightmare. That is an absolute nightmare, and I'm just very, very thankful that this one is not actually that. If it was, I wouldn't be doing it. You know, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd have to cut out the entire siege almost, because that's basically what it is. Also, the layout is very difficult as well, as far as I can remember. In that particular town, it has like a 2-layered setup. So the archers are placed in really high ground defensive positions, and they just murder. They're just really, really good at dealing damage from those positions, and it's just a huge pain. So very much hoping that maybe by the time we get there, we're going to have some pretty decent army setups. I mean, obviously at the moment, we've got Huskarls and Swadian Knights, and I feel like we're doing pretty well with those. I'm actually just going to jump off here real quick, and we're just going to go around the side. I could have gone down the stairs, but time is money, friend. And that is exactly what we're talking about right here. Hopefully we're going to be able to not die. Oh no. I have a bad feeling about this now. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. I'm actually being focused, I think. I think I am actually being focused, so I'm just going to continue facing my back towards the enemy right now, just so that I can hopefully block any arrows coming my way. And I'm actually going to try and do some damage to the enemy forces coming here. I really want to eliminate these people if I can. Okay, I've got to be careful here. I've got to remain a bit focused. This guy knocked me down. Are you serious? He knocked me down and then I got shot. So I couldn't defend myself. Okay, that was hilarious. What a classic. Okay, I can't do much here. I'm actually not entirely sure what I should even do, because I'm thinking I'm probably just going to stand here and not do much. I mean, I've done a bunch. Okay, so here's the thing. I've done a bunch of Iron Man challenges, right? I mean, you know, if you've been on my channel a while and you've obviously seen some of my previous content, you'll know I did a bunch of Iron Man challenges. Basically, it means you play the game and you die once, and that's game over. It's kind of like a, you know, a self-imposed challenge of sorts. And now here's the thing. I've always said, if you want to do the Iron Man challenge, you really cannot stand at the back of the battlefield, because you're just never going to die. Or at least in my opinion. It feels very, very easy to not die in those situations, because you can see, look at my HP right now. My HP is basically 0. I'm at 1 HP, I'm going to assume. And I would so incredibly easily survive these kinds of situations if I just stood at the back and did nothing. And I said that the whole time, basically, as well, because obviously, you know, if you're not putting yourself in danger, then of course there's no point in doing a challenge like that. You know, if you're just standing at the back, then you're fine. You know, you're not ever going to take damage, and you won't ever really be you know, at risk of failing the challenge, so to speak. So the whole challenge is actually putting yourself in those situations that you could potentially take damage and die, because that's where the tension comes in. You know, that's where the tension comes in. And we actually had some really fun moments, really tense moments in that as well. So yeah, if you're looking for Iron Man challenge, well, you know where to go. I've done a bunch of those. In Bannerlord as well, by the way. I think I did one in Bannerlord, but it didn't. As far as I'm aware, it didn't really work that well, because I was actually using a mod at the time that incorporated actual death, and obviously this was way back before the version of Bannerlord right now where it actually does have death. But yeah, my own character could die, and then there was like it was a bit of a bug associated with it. So, yeah, it didn't really work as intended, unfortunately, but we did have a blast with it anyway. Anyway, I believe that is indeed the end of Rivercheg, and I believe the Vaegirs are basically almost done, which is actually really funny to me, because I actually thought the Vaegirs would be a pretty difficult conquest for us, but it feels to me like we're not even having that many difficulties. I feel like it's pretty simple. I don't know, it feels pretty easy for us at the moment, but that's kind of strange considering we're actually in situations where we're losing a lot of units every single time, or most of the time, and I don't know, it feels less painful to lose those units now. I don't know why that might be, but anyway, let's get some Vaegir guards. I have 3 spaces. What do I want to go for here? I guess trained footman and a crossbowman. There we go. Alright, so there's not much else I want to take here, and we're going to be giving this to... Who should I give it to? Who should I give it to? We should probably give it to probably knudarr, right? Or Rayek? Rayek hates me, doesn't he? I think he does. Let's give it to knudarr. I think he likes me a huge amount. Yeah, he likes me so much that his relation hasn't even gone down since he joined our faction. So I think he's a really good. What are you? Are you serious right now? Yeah, so he's a really, really good vassal, and I'm now getting ambushed. I'm now getting ambushed. Okay, so this is actually not particularly good. Thankfully, my shield is decent. Alright, that was easy enough, wasn't it? And yeah, I believe that is that. Yep, there we go. Okay, and we actually advanced to level 31. Oh, interesting. Okay, I was certainly not expecting that anytime soon, but there you go. We actually did get to the next level. Okay, otherwise, apart from that, let's just sell these various things here. Let's put one there and sell that. I'm actually going to keep this, so I'm going to sell something else. Let's sell this one. There we go. And we have enough food, I think, but I'll just get some fish and some bread and all that stuff otherwise. And there we have it. Okay, so this is what is currently going on the world map right here. We have every single fief with the exception of Yerbe Castle and Sargoth, which is actually funny because Sargoth is going to be super easy for us to take, or at least it should be. And then apart from that, Yerbe Castle, obviously that's just a siege tower. That's going to be pretty easy for us to take. I'll probably try and take that off screen, possibly, because it is a siege tower, but it's a siege tower nevertheless. I kind of think maybe it would be a fun idea to show the siege tower just because it's going to be a bit more difficult than the others, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll see what happens with that. Otherwise, the Rhodoks are calling me. I really do want to try and take and indeed consolidate the rest of the Rhodoks territory because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 castles and 1 town. Should be pretty simple for us to take that. And then the Khergits are actually looking pretty appetizing as well. They're not looking too bad. The Saranids are looking very strong. Swadians, as you might expect, are looking pretty strong too. So seems like it's going to be like a, I don't know, a free-for-all between the last remaining 3 factions when we have eliminated the Vaegirs and the Rhodoks. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.